Vowing to renew his effort to end the DACA program after the Supreme Court ruled last week that it wasn't rescinded properly.
Will you refile on DACA before the election?
I will. And I hope we can go directly to the Supreme Court. Maybe we can't. But if you read the opinion, we won. But we have to refile.
You will refile.
Yeah, we're going to refile.
To dismantle DACA
We're going to
before the
refile,
election.
and probably pretty soon.
Major news there. Our next guest is a DACA recipient who says the president is helping the Dreamer community. Here to explain is Hilario Yanez. Hilario, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Your reaction to that news with our correspondent, White House correspondent John Roberts talking to the president, the administration's going to try and refile because remember that Supreme Court case wasn't about the merits of DACA, but rather about whether or not they'd followed administrative procedures.
Absolutely. Oh, I completely understand where the president is coming from. I mean, this is a president that is all about rule of law, but also he's a compassionate leader. I think what he's trying to do here is trying to force Congress to get back to work and do its job. The only way we can really solve DACA is through a legislative action, which would require a permanent solution for Dreamers in exchange for, a border security package. That's the only best way forward. Unfortunately, the media has twisted this decision around against the president to somehow believe that he's trying to deport all these Dreamers. Instead, he's trying to find solutions for the Dreamers. And I think overall, DACA is a winning issue for this president, for this election coming up. I think both sides, both Republicans and Democrats, can agree that DACA, there's a chance and opportunity for us to find a permanent solution. So I think the best opportunity moving forward is allow the president to give us an opportunity for me to share my story, to have a meeting with the Dreamers, and explain and try to change this narrative that somehow he's trying to deport us, which is just it's not true.
Hilario, for our viewers who may not know, what is that story briefly?
Well, my mom brought me here when I was a year old. I grew up without my father in my life. I grew up without I grew up homeless. I grew up in a rough neighborhood. But if it wasn't for my conservative values, I would not be here for today. That's faith, family, and freedom. Because of these values, now I'm a first-generation college graduated from the University of Houston with 2 degrees. I work for a Fortune 500 company. I'm married to my beautiful wife, who's an incredible kindergarten teacher. And so this country has allowed me to live and thrive on the American dream. And I am just so thankful and grateful to be part of this country. And the last thing I'll say here is I just want to thank the president for his leadership, for continuing to push this forward and find a permanent solution for Dreamers. I stand behind him, and I would love to have a chance to sit down and share my story with him.
And just lastly, with seconds to go, Hilario, what would you say to the leaders in Congress? Very
simple, do your job. I would say do your job, and I think the president is right to put this back onto Congress to say, let's get to work. But also I asked the president and the White House to give us an opportunity to change this narrative that somehow he's trying to deport the Dreamer community, which is absolutely not true. I think it's going to help him also moving forward across the country as well.
Well, we'll see what happens. And Hilario Yanez, thanks for sharing your story. We will continue to check in as this develops. Thank you, sir.
God bless y'all. Thank you.
God bless you.